So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And just, for those of you who've attended Venerable Rabina's teachings this evening, you can use some of this time to reflect, just to allow some of, the Dharma that she's been talking about to settle into your heart. So this is an excellent practice to do after a teaching in a way, because you're not running off to go watch television or do something else. So this way it enables the seeds of her words, or the words of the Buddha, just to kind of settle in just a little bit more. So settle yourself in, and shoulders aligned with the hips, and imagine your spine is this string of pearls stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just lengthen and breathe. And then bring your awareness to the crown of your head, and just notice if there's any sensation there, and just allow yourself to feel, to experience it without having any kind of story that goes along. And just relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the back of the head, back of the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax your throat and chest and belly and all of your limbs. And breathe. And be aware if you have sound in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there. Trying not to follow with the mind, and then just notice the thoughts that are arising. And again, trying not to judge them. Try to put some space in between the thoughts and just allow them to arise and abide, and then just allow them to sort of dissipate. And, we have so many thoughts going through our head. Perhaps we could start to categorize some of them. Like I don't know if you have a container store in your different parts of the world, but everyone seems to have IKEA. So there's all these kind of different types of containers you can use to organize your stuff. So imagine you've got, you can have either a little cloth container that folds up, or you can have a plastic one, or a little metal one, or whatever. So you could label these containers. Oh, I'm thinking that I'm just thinking. So you put all the thinking in one container, and then you could think, oh, I'm ruminating. So get out your little label maker and write rumination on it. Stick that there, put all the ruminating thoughts in your nice little container from IKEA. And then you could have get your label maker out and create one for anger. And then you have one for, looking forward to, planning. This way we're allowing ourselves to be a little bit more objective about what's going on in the mind, taking a step back, just looking, but this very act of analyzing what kinds of thoughts, what different types of thoughts we are having. Be having sad thoughts or depressed thoughts. It gives us a little space. So then bring to mind all these people of our life, our loved ones, the ones we don't like so much, and our strangers. Imagining they can all change place at any time, and they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for this, wisdom mind, compassionate mind. Everyone has that. So I think we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And our little hummingbirds have discovered their feeders, so they come to visit. So I think about all the little beings in this garden, in this forest up here. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is really just a psychological one, because we're creating negativity with our mind. So equally, we can create positivity, It's not beyond us to change. And we do have the power. So we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we have done. This is the first of the 4 opponent powers, to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both our body and our speech, and then in general, just regret all. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. So everything we experience is based on our past karma, on the seed we planted. So it kind of makes sense to pull out all these negative seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, and having broken my vows, because I don't want this future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify ourselves. So again, as I say every evening, we're not looking for a higher power. Vajrasattva isn't going to take all our, we're not giving him all our pain. We're doing the work ourselves. We're just using Vajrasattva's methods and the blessings of this practice and this beautiful Sanskrit mantra. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all these beings in our life. And his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here we have this little section on compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the ones we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, particularly those who have harmed us, because the harm they've done to us will ripen as suffering for them in the future. So then we come to the remedy, and this is the practice of, this is like taking the medicine. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, waterfall, showerhead, powerful showerhead, forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And now we come to the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around quite forcefully, enters your crown and fills your entire being, except this time it all kind of forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech and all your, you can think of all your gossip speech and harsh speech and angry speech, useless speech, lying. This all our inappropriate speech, not knowing what to say at the right time, talking about other people behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is a purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a room, it's pitch black, and you just flick on that switch and the light instantly just comes, dispelling all the darkness. So just imagine the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, bitterness, grudges, resentment, jealousies, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite this mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutrukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be so delighted that all your delusions, which are the cause of all of our own suffering and why we harm others with our body and our speech, just imagine all of this completely purified. And now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and bliss and wisdom and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Tita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in this purification process. And it's a really crucial one. This is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind, or to refrain from harming. And without this kind of determination, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this becomes like almost like guardrails. So think of something that you've been working on. Rejoice in your incredible efforts. And know, no matter how you feel about it, but just know that your practice is really solid. Really solid. Fantastic. So just take heart from that. And so Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with our mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind is the same. And next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness for a little bit. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So as much as you can, just place your mind in emptiness for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And we can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So make a strong wish for His Holiness Dalai Lama to live long and be able to continue to teach, and for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and then for all of your own precious teachings. And we don't have much time this evening, but what I want to start doing, as Venerable Rabina recommended this morning, is at the end of the Vajrasattva, we can just recite maybe one little word, one or two verses of the chanting the names of Manjushri. And that way we're, because I mean, she's right when she said we think we have to do the whole thing, which takes half an hour, but we don't actually. Just to keep the energy flowing, we can just recite a couple of verses. So I'll make time for that. And we'll start tomorrow, and I hope you're all okay with that. Anyway, I just feel like it's the advice, so let's just do it, even if it's only one or two verses. It won't hurt us. Okay. In fact, it will give us some wisdom